to the record store and see what he has.
Haven't you heard? The record stores are all closed.
Oh. Okay. All right.
Oh, no! Good morning and welcome to another early morning show. It's the show that, unlike everything else in the world right now, you can depend on. I got enough stuff to talk for the rest of the year. And that's the new stuff, let alone anything else. So don't you worry. If you don't mind my ramblings, I got you covered. Okay, cheers everyone. Well, I've been grounded. It happened last week. Finally, I did fly out last week. I flew to Cleveland, and I'll show you some pictures. That's the Detroit airport. Just a ghost town. Never seen it that way. You want to talk social distancing? Go to the airport. You can go within 50 feet before you even touch someone. Then the airplanes. One flight 6. One flight. The most I had on one flight was 12 people. That was it. It was just incredible. The hotel I stayed at Crown Plaza, it's 6 stories high. 5 of us. 5. And then they decided, let's put all 5 on the same floor by each other. What the hell's that with that? They were a little bit noisy, but they were down to 1. You had to get takeout every night. It was just rough. It was. So I'm thinking, oh yeah. And they finally said, no, you're just staying home now. So I don't know how long. My wife has to stay home from her work. We have never spent time together, just us 2 at home. We've both always been working. I've traveled for years. It's like, now what? And she doesn't have a hobby, so I suggested, well, there's lots of sticks in the yard that could be picked up. That could be a hobby. Dusting. No interest in coming to listen to music and the reading, so we'll figure it out. Hopefully we don't get divorced, so yeah. If you haven't seen the channel, Steve from FlipsideCT, right there, FlipsideCT. He just did a new documentary, Punk, and it's called, it's Punk Documentary Part 1. And he put so much time into this thing. It is so interesting. This traces the roots of punk. Goes all the way back, traces the word, how punk came about. Incredible. Please, if you have any interest in that genre, you got to take the time to look at this thing. It was just, the man makes incredible documentaries. His voice is perfect for it, and I mean, it's researched. He did not just go onto Wikipedia. Hey, what do you mean he's not like me? He does a lot, and in the library books, and so it's fascinating. It's FlipsideCT is the name of the channel. It's Steve. Please take a look at that, and it's well worth it. And by the way, my record store is really open. It is open. Radio Wasteland is open, so please, at least so far it is. So I appreciate it because I've listened to almost every piece of new music I have, and I haven't done that in ages. So let's go. In the background, we got going on. We got the Bodines playing right now. This is the greatest hits. I have a lot of their stuff in CD. I think I have 1 album by the Bodines, but thought that would be fun to play. Out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, formed in the 80s. They're still going on right now. Probably the greatest band ever. Out of Milwaukee. Home of beer. It used to be home of beer. Now we microbrew. What I really want today, I sent some stuff to Dean down in Australia, and he goes, "What do you want back?" I says, "I don't want anything." I says, "Send me a kangaroo." Guess what, folks? He sent me a kangaroo. First, he boxed up. It was a kangaroo. He boxed it up. It hopped out. I think it popped him in the face too. You know, kangaroos box right that. So what do we do? Well, hey, did the next best thing. I got a pack of kangaroo jerky. That is correct. Look at it. And this has the authentic taste. And what is the authentic taste of kangaroo? I haven't a clue, man. And it's made in Australia of 97% Australian ingredients. So it's a game jerky from Australia. Cat is licking me. We know what happens. So that was really interesting. Thank you, Dean. I got a kangaroo. There, you gave me a kiss, okay? We got kangaroo. But in that box, there was more than kangaroo jerky. Though I'm excited about that. He also sent me a note. Isn't that neat? But there was yet more to it. Wonderful note, lovely note from Dean. Again, this is, if you don't know, it's Grandma's Handbag. I should have said more. From Dean at Grandma's Handbag. It's a guy that I just absolutely love and talk with constantly. I always look forward for his comments and commenting back and forth. But let me show you kind of what Dean sent me here. Here we got this one. This is a newer group out of Australia, Witch Hats, and the name of the album is called Deliverance. What do you need to kiss me for? This also I have here. Interesting. There you go. That's the digital download. Some of you guys are just sitting around all day now. What are you going to do? Might as well do a digital download. This is a kind of an alt post-punk type music that comes from these guys. Hey, settle down, Dag. Hey, okay. It's kind of an intense blast, shall we say, of Australian rock. I mean, this is kind of a doom and gloom. It's more kind of what should we say, a mid-paced post-punk type band, but they're looking at society and they're saying, hey, you know what, we got a lot of problems, and it's like about Big Brother looking at us, you know, dystopian type feel. There's songs about even incest that goes on behind closed doors. This is not about Johnny seeing Jude and really getting exciting and let's have a kiss or whatever. No, this is about the world. And there's so many issues, and everyone needs to understand about them, and it's time to be worried. Really kind of cool album. Influences. You can hear on here that these guys really like Neil Young and Crazy Horse, especially on their last song, Strange Life. The guitar kind of go on like you would hear Crazy Horse do. Just great album, truly enjoyed. It's just, man, the way that they wrote and they just made, you know, listen, you know, there's lots of problems and everyone needs to be aware. I mean, you got Religious Sickness, Child in the Ceiling, Peeper Man, Peeping Toms, man, Insecure Fear. Really kind of a dark album, but done in a post-punk type way. Truly enjoyed it. This came, The Stems, and this is a reissue of their very first album. At first, you know, The Stems, one of the biggest bands that came really out, I would say, out of Australia. They formed in '83 and they broke up in '87. I believe in 2003 they formed again, and they came out of Perth, Australia. They were influenced by 60s garage rock and 70s power pop. They're also, you could say, kind of part of the Paisley Underground that was going on. They did one album, and this is it. Actually, what had happened, At First Sight, it was a single that they did, and the movie Young Einstein from the 80s used it, and it really got them noticed. And so they wound up, they put out this album. And I showed the Stems album not too long ago, since the band is reformed. Well, they did the album, and it went, and everyone was buying it, and they became really popular, and that kind of broke them up. They just weren't ready for that to happen. But again, in 2003, they reformed. This is an Australian classic, but if you like that 80s, if you're the alt college radio, this is an important album. If you like the Paisley Underground type feel, this would be an important album. I was so excited to get this because I absolutely think the Stems are wonderful. Been a favorite group. But I've just never found that stuff till I found that one that I found in Denver that I showed last year. So incredible, Dean. Boom, boom on that one. He sent me this, Nature's Walkabout. And this is by Sven Lebeck. I'm sure I'm saying that right. Guy's from Norway, born in 36 in Norway, Sven was. And he was a pianist, he was an actor, went to Juilliard as a matter of fact. But, in 1960, he visited Australia. And in 1963, CBS Records in Australia hired him to produce and do things. Well, he did the music for this 60s half-hour nature documentary called Nature Walkabout. And so this is some of the music from it. And it's just kind of fun. It has that 60s feel, that 60s vibe, turning on the telly and listening. I'm playing you the theme song from Nature Walkabout. But the music really describes what is going on. You get a feel for the animals and what they're looking at. So Sven did a very, very good job with that. Exciting stuff. It's fun. This is totally different, totally unexpected. I would never in a million years think about getting it, and that's what makes it the joy of discovery. So Dean, really nice. CDs. I'm going to show you these. We'll go kind of quick through them because this was an incredible package. It costs a lot to ship to and from Australia. It's an incredible amount. So Dean, I was really blown away. But this is Harmony. This is a group. This CD came out in 2011. I think they're still going now. Blues rock, kind of a punk feel to them. Very nice CD. I played these in my car. The one week I did a bunch of driving, and I had all these going on in my car. We have Darab, the Ambassador. This came out in 2011 also. Kind of a jazz Afrobeat type of music. He lives in Sydney. Again, he came over from Africa, and then went to Australia and began to make music there. And so it has kind of a jazz Afrobeat type vibe, which is just stuff that I always get excited about. I just find it so interesting. We have this here, if I can pick it up, and this is Omar Portuando Flor de Amor, French, and it has the title was French, but it's a Cuban singer, and she does a Cuban jazz, or a Cuban singer, not jazz singer, but she does jazz type numbers with Latin and an Afro-Cuban type feel to the music. So it's something totally kind of different. It has more of a, almost like a small club type jazz singer type vibe to it. That was really interesting. This was a very exciting one. It was easy enough to know this was going to be my favorite. Swen Cootie, this was one of Fella's kids, and put this out with Egypt 80. And so it's very, very updated. This came out in 2014, and there is rap on there. You gotta update the sound. Even the Cooties gotta update the sound, so they added rap to the music on that CD. So that was fascinating. And the final one was Torre Kunda. God, hey, say however you want there, folks. You can tell me whatever you want. This guy's from Senegal. Music is more folk, kind of a world, and even a country type sound. So something totally different. It has elephants on the front. Really an incredible package from down under, and I was Dean, the generosity was incredible. Thank you for sharing music from Australia. I don't know what to get, and you shared it. Thank you. In the package, then I had a surprise. This came from Chris from First Pressing Goodness. Wasn't expecting it, wasn't looking for anything, and he sent me a box. One of the albums was this, See You at the Fair by Ben Webster, someone that I did not know about. He was born in 1909 and died in 73. He's considered one of three of the most important swing tenor sax players, along with Coleman Hawkins and Lester Young. This one here, they called him, he was called, they called him the Frog, or the Brute was the other one, because when he played hard on the sax, it just growled. I mean, it does, it absolutely growls, but then he could be very soft and very sweet. Learned to play the learned to play the piano and the violin, but then let's see, who was it? Some Johnson, it wasn't Lester Johnson, Bud Johnson. Bud Johnson taught him how to play the sax, and he played in the Johnson's band. I mean, in the Young band, not Bud Johnson, Bud Young. Bud Young taught him how to play the sax. He played in the Young's band. He did join Count Duke Ellington. Duke Ellington he played in from 35 to 43. Then he got with Oscar Peterson, played with Oscar Peterson, and I believe in the mid-50s went by himself. This album came out in 64. This was the last album he made in the U.S. He just wasn't going big in the U.S. anymore. His swing type of feel, his sound had nothing to do with bebop or what was happening, and he wound up going to Europe after this. But this thing, especially See You at the Fair, is now considered to be one of those classic songs, and it's his classic. This has some nice ballads, and they're really soft, and then he just swings on other songs and just takes off. Again, it goes from the lyrical to the faster finger popping type swing. Neat stuff. Really enjoyed this, Chris, from an artist that I did not know. Chris sent me this one, the Cuban Cha-Cha-Cha. This actually, the Orchestra Orangan, a Cuban band, and they formed in 39, and this album here is from 1956, and yes, it is Cha-Cha-Cha, 1, 2, 3, Cha-Cha-Cha, and they got the 3/3 time signature going on. Really, these guys were Tranga, I believe is how you pronounce it. It was the form of Cuban cha-cha-cha type music that was super big in the 50s and 60s, and you hear it on movies all over the place. Really enjoyed this. Has this very much 50s oriented type of an album, musical type feel to it. And I didn't pull out that Webster. The Ben Webster, I believe was a reissue on Impulse. Very nice. This is RCA. And the final one he sent me. This is a really important album. Duke Ellington at Newport. That's a 6 side. This came out in '56. At the time, Ellington was struggling. People just weren't digging him. Again, bop, hard bop. Davis was doing different things. Everything was going on, but big band. So Ellington got invited to play at the Newport Jazz Festival, and he went there. And the one song on here, it's called Dimiendo and Crescendo. It's the last song. It is the most incredible piece of fiery music that you're going to find in jazz. It is absolutely amazing. They have a sax player, gets in for 27 bars, lays out a sax solo, and when you listen to this live recording, the crowd starts to build, and they get into a frenzy, and you hear them in there as this sax is just solos, he's just wailing, and the crowd is going. I'm just going to say it, ape shit. It is amazing. It is so much fun. You're getting excited about it. And the name of that sax player was Paul Gonsalves. You know me, I'm hitting that right. But it is incredible. The audience is at near riot. Then Cat Anderson comes in and plays this screaming trumpet solo to finish it off. When this was done, when Duke Ellington was done, basically the Duke was back. The Duke was back, and Ellington had a whole new fan base thanks to this album. You can find this out there. It's fairly inexpensive, well worth picking it up just for that last song, to hear the power, the passion, and to hear an audience absolutely get off their feet and go nuts. So much fun. Chris, first person goodness, thank you very much. But wait, there was more. This was a big week. I come back and go, well, what did you buy? You have all these boxes. I didn't buy anything, honest. Yeah, okay. Didn't expect this. Didn't know this was coming. Ron, from the Vinyl Sanctuary. And Ron, he was actually my very first subscriber. My very first guy to write me a note. You have a contest, Ron's going to be the first one on it. But he sent me a package. This was Rasa from 78 to 84. It's a devotional band, kind of an Indian music, Hare Krishna type stuff. Some of the music is built from chants. Other parts of the music is things that they created. This has been sampled by De La Soul, Boogie Down Productions have all done it, because it's filled with these warm, jazzy grooves, kind of really smooth type keyboards, something really, kind of different, just a really laid back. And they're out of Sweden. Yes, they came out of Sweden, and the group was called Rasa.
Should I spend the life I really need to know? With every rising and the setting of the shining sun, life gets shorter and soon it will be done. I've got to find out just who I really am. I want to know myself, I need to understand just who with the universe and folks the stars and all the space.
And again, Ron didn't tell me this was coming, and so he just sent me this way. And you haven't checked out, it's Ron Haggerty at the Vinyl Sanctuary. Chris, first pressing goodness. The man gets more stuff off eBay at great deals. If you love jazz, you really got to see Chris. And of course, Dean, Grandma's Handbag is just a staple. But Ron also sent me this one, Congas, Africanism. And the Congas, this came out in 1977. Super Disco. This group is from France. It definitely has disco. You feel that in there. It's kind of electronic, funk type disco music. Side 1 is a 15-minute jam of Give Me Some Lovin'. 15 minutes of Give Me Some Lovin'. We're talking disco dance floor. But it's not John Travolta type disco. Really neat how they did it. truly enjoyed it. It was fun. They also do a Santana song, Tattoo Woman, on there. So it says Africanism. I'm not sure where all the African music came out of this, but 15 minutes and give me some lovin', you got it made. One was Zuma, Zuma 2. This one came out in 1970. This is like a folk blues, world country type music. The guy came out of the Bahamas, but at age 17 he moved to New York to become an architect, ran out of money, began busking, began playing in Greenwich Village, got noticed, and in 1970 he produced this album, and he kind of kept going from there. He began playing the Kangaroo type music. You hear that again in a lot of 60s, early 60s, late 50s movies. Even James Bond, Dr. No, they play a lot of Kangaroo type music because it was just a huge style that was going on. And this thing, they use ankle bells, there's elephant bells, they use junk bells, they have whistles, there is feet drums, a lot of traditional things. It's kind of hard to classify what it is. It is all over, from a lot of folk type feel. It did start in Greenwich Village, but the world and some blues type, so really neat. There we have it, folks. Great stuff. I'm working on a new series trying to look at 80s alternative music from college radios, what it is. Something that I was really into in the 80s. Top 100. I'm still trying to decide. I have time. I stay busy. If I'm supposed to be working, believe it, I am really working. I'm on my computer doing stuff. But I'm going to be home at night. And you know what? I do terrible watching YouTube videos when I'm home. That's kind of a away thing. So I got to work on that to catch up with everybody. I'm the one guy that doesn't watch when I'm at home. Because I have my music, and that's what I do. So. But thanks, everyone. I appreciate you watching. Please stay safe. I know I now have no choice but to stay safe. And I have not found any more toilet paper. Still have what I have, but I think I stocked up for maybe I can handle half a week of food now, so it's all good. Again, appreciate it. Everyone have a great week. There'll be some more stuff coming out, probably from every one of us, because we're all sitting going, what do I do now? It's our hobby, right? Thanks. Bye.